Stories, I'm a fool for your love.
Hey guys, welcome back here to Slum86. You join me, we are on Catalan Crops, and today we are seeding wheat. So we have a few fields done, which is I think is 3 all in, and we've these two here on our right to do. And I think after that we might put everything to maize. We haven't quite got a full crop rotation as we might like it. We'll see. I'm debating with putting a big field to wheat as well. Actually, we've these three fields here to do, so as I say, debating putting a big field to wheat. You can let me know if you think it's a good idea, bad idea, and we'll take it from there. I think we need to get rid of the 0.5, just square it up. So we're just setting up our GPS, and we can then enable that, which is here, and then we need to bring up the implement menu. First time using, well, it's not the first time, but it's the first time I've shown using these this seeder combination unit. So as you can see, we have everything going at the moment, so we're just going to enable cruise, whip off the handbrake, drop into the field, and we are away. So do have to wait on the front of the tractor, and even at that it's probably still a little bit heavy for this thing, but so far it's doing a good job. We won't complain about it. And the joys of seeding with this is we'll also get a rundown of how the soil is breaking up with the recent update. And in fact, I could probably show you my other 3 fields pretty quickly. If we jump in here, we'll just leave that there a while. We jump across the road here to this one, and if we scroll way down, we have a fully seeded, and you can see after running the power harrow on the seeder across it, our crumbliness went up to 76%, and the crumb density is way down, so there's not that many big crumbs out there, and it's a fluffy finished seed bed. So we're getting pretty close to the max on that. And if we check this field, this was the one that had maize in it the year before, but as I say, everything is kind of reset. So you can see the upper soil density as well, it has reduced because we've broken it up a good bit. And again, crumb density is down at 28%, and crumbliness is up at 72%. And you can see obviously there are different soil types, so they're reacting slightly differently. No two fields will be the same, which is a fantastic thing. This one to get heavily over fertilized, but we'll worry about that. It might affect our crop, but we'll see how it goes. So we have those 3 seeded. We still have a couple more to do, so we're going to crack on and get this one done. As time advances here in the next couple of days as well, we will be looking to sell a few bulls if we can, and just replenish the stock. We do have a couple getting close to their 2-year mark again and hitting the max weight. So once the dealer is restocked, we will be looking at taking a trip down there. Skip out one more. I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but it's nice to see as well that the auto steer with the steering wheel is working a lot better. You used to get to that stage where you were nearly better off using the keys, as it wouldn't detect when your steering wheel wasn't in use. But I find now once you kind of get that wheel back to dead center, the auto steer kicks in again straight away, which is fantastic. So we'll go in cab for a little bit. So we're just running up and down the fields. As I say, we're getting as much wheat in as we can. I think we've emptied what we had in the storage on the farm, so anything we need after this will have to be bought. I must check it out to see if there's a way of bulk buying seed. now that you have a storage on the farm as well, would be a nice addition. But so far we're doing quite well. We won't complain at all. So let me just get lined up on our next one, and auto steer's kicked in. We're going to leave a massive tail there, but it's doing a good job. What we could do and make it look very professional is if we jump out and have a little look at the ground. So you'll see our power harrow here is working overtime, and then we're back onto the rollers just to break it up a bit more, and then we have the seeding unit here, which is leaving a lovely seabed. So that's how we're going. I did narrow in the width of my machine a wee bit as well. You might have noticed I'm running at 2.9. I found I was leaving little skip marks here and there, so it's not the end of the world just to move it in that little bit just to reduce it. I find it works pretty well. But as I say, seeding away early morning here, nice lighting effect as well. You kind of have that morning hazes there, and we are flat out working. Trying our best to get all the wheat in. We have a couple of weeks before we really need to get the maize in, so we switched from cultivating maize fields that we will be using as maize fields to getting the wheat in the ground as conditions seem to be right for it. And obviously whatever we have left afterwards, as I say, will be going to maize. So we don't have a whole pile left in the BGA to sell either, but obviously the tanks are full there. So what money we have, which I think is 27,441 euros, will have to see us through the summer, and that's including renting of gear. So you have the combine to rent, the forage harvester to rent, baler, all that good stuff. But now that we have a tanker, we don't run that cost this year, so that's saving already. Although we did spend, obviously I understand, to buy it, but we should make that back in the long run. And again, once we get the BGA firing up, we should be in good stead. What I am interested to see this time around as well is how the cultivator on the back of the new spreader will work, or the harrow, whatever you want to call it, will work for the soil conditions. Hoping we can use that, and hopefully all going well, depending on how our compaction is looking, maybe seed directly into it. But it's a bit of a trial and error to get it right. Failing that, we might end up having to use either the plough to kind of maybe do like a little mini reset in the field, or depending on how bad our tram lines are, the subsoiler. But it's nice that you have to think about this, and generally looking forward to making the most of it and seeing what is the best way to work our fields, and will they change depending on crops and weather conditions. Will all that have an impact down the line? It's just makes it far more than just coming in here, planting, getting out, fertilizing, harvest, and kind of repeat. There's a lot more thought process now. We'll have to go into tanning your fields, which for me is a lot more attractive than just it kind of does break up that monotony of rinse and repeat. So definitely looking forward to that. And we do have to come back on these fields as well for, I think it's potassium we need to spread. There's a phosphate. They do need a little top up, so each field will have to get a little run through, so that will create a tram line. So again, it's just a little experiment to see what works, what doesn't work. See if we can do it with turning off the visual aid. Probably won't. And I must say the tire update that came recently as well is fantastic. They just have a lot more of a realistic look to them. We're flinging dirt there. So you can see the two arms there just behind the wheels, breaking them up on both sides, I'd imagine. Yep. So that is nice. And we're back in. So if I bring up the map, so what we've currently done so far is we've weed out here, 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 and we're doing this one. We'll probably do these two as well. And then I was looking at having maize across these three definitely, and probably here. And I'm debating with this one, should we do wheat or should we do maize? We probably will need the maize, and it might make more sense as it'll probably make us more money because we can just drive it directly to the BGA. So that's where we're thinking, and obviously then from the year after that this will go wheat or maybe rye or barley. We'll try something maybe different across these three, and we'll have maize all the way across here. So so just trying to break it up and see what crops have what effect in fields. Obviously there's a lot more driving across a field with the maize because you're doing a forage, so you have a lot more compaction. So it'll be interesting to see all that play out versus going across it with the combine, tractor trailer and a baler. Also, since the last one, we were running with a few issues in the yard with our frame rate, and as you can see right now, if we look away this way, we probably should. Oh, I would have thought I would have went up. We're kind of holding it close enough to 30, which isn't bad. We will take that. But even in the yard now, we're kind of holding mid-20s. We're not getting down into those teen numbers, which is definitely improving things. But as I say, running an older system, so I'm not too off put by that. Assuming it will find its own line here, and we can drop back in, and away we go. Another thing I like about this game is, for some odd reason, the smaller gear is more appealing to me this time around. Normally on Farm Sim I tend to gear toward the bigger stuff, but here I'm liking the smaller stuff. Not sure why, couldn't put my finger on if I had to, but there's something about it, just, oh, we hit something hard there. It just appeals to me using the smaller gear. And as I pull out there, you'll see the different soil types, considering that we pulled the seeder out before, or the rotavator out before the seeder. It does have an effect. So as I say, we have a long bit of time ahead of us planting, and we plan on keep going as long as we can. Obviously we're still where we're now kind of getting close to mid-March, so if we can get most of the wheat in, and then as I say, we'll probably flick to maize towards the end of March and see how we're holding up then. Hopefully my maths is done right and our planting times will be a bit more accurate. I know we haven't been the best in previous efforts, so we're going to attempt to do it a little bit more realistically if we can. And again, the goal working towards the end of this year, I think in my mind anyway, is definitely trying to pick up a bit more land again if we can. So I'm not sure where we're going to land here on this one. Somewhere there. So yeah, we'll try and get a little bit more land if we can. And that way it should make the whole what we plant wear a little bit easier. As the more acres we plant, the more crops we'll be yielding and the more money we should make in theory. Something I would like to see actually is weather effects. I'm not sure if they're even planning it, but we say, you know, if you get like 2 weeks out from harvest, you get heavy rainfall, I know crops can fall and you can lose. So it'll be interesting to see if that, I know it might be hard to implement, but if it makes it in the game, it would be a fantastic feature. But as things are going, I am not complaining. This is a fantastic simulation. So we're just going to disable our auto steer, pop down to the end, hit the headland here and shoot up, hit the other headland, and that should be us done in another field. So we're pretty close to being finished here, I'd say, guys. We'll just pull out here. Another thing I'd like to see is the ability to plough fields wider. And if I could, where I'm driving now, I would definitely plough and expand the fields. So we definitely have enough seed to do the last 2 fields. As I say, I won't do the big field yet. I'll let you decide, guys, if that's something you think I should do maize, let me know, or if you think, hell to it, do a big field of wheat and see how it goes, let me know. So with that one done, we are going to shoot over to, I think it's 15 over here, or 13, and then we'll come back to this one here by the farm last. Oh, I was wondering why I was slowing down. I used up cruise control. we're just going to pull in here, and we might do this one a little bit freehand for the crack. So we're in and away, and let cruise control take over. So as I say, guys, we're going to tip away here and keep seeding going while the weather is good. If you have any questions on the game, or you want to see anything, as always, guys, let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to attempt that in the next one. But until then, guys, I've been Snowman86. This has been Cattle and Crops, and we'll see you all again. Take care.